It's fascinating to reflect on how society views sexuality in older age. Too often, it feels like as we grow older, our desires and pleasures are tucked away as if they no longer matter. But I'll tell you this. Sexuality is intrinsic to who we are from the very beginning of life all the way through. It's a vital part of our identity, yet so many older individuals are left suppressing their feelings, neglecting their health, or living in fear of being misunderstood, simply because of a lack of awareness or resources. Sexuality is far more than just physical interaction. It's a web of different aspects: sexual orientation, intimacy, gender identity, pleasure, and reproduction. Each piece of it is unique to every individual. No two people experience or express their desires in the same way, and that's what makes our journeys so incredibly beautiful. Unfortunately, many people try to reduce sexuality to something solely physical, often overlooking the richness of affection, the soft caresses, and the shared intimacy. These are all integral aspects of our sexual experience, and they don't fade with age. When we talk about aging, it's essential to appreciate the significant impact that sexuality has on our lives. For many, intimacy still sparks a light in their eyes, a warmth in their hearts, and a feeling of vitality that reminds them they're alive. This isn't something to be ashamed of, but something we should celebrate, respect, and honor at every age. As we get older, sexuality shifts from being about mere physical attraction to something deeper. It becomes about connection, sharing years of experiences, memories, joys, and even our scars. These connections aren't just about bodies coming together. They're about stories, shared laughter, dreams, and a bond that transcends the surface. However, there's a troubling misconception that if you're an older woman actively engaging in certain types of intimacy, you're somehow better or worse than others. But that's simply not the case. Everyone has the right to choose what feels best for them in their relationships, whether that's physical, emotional, or a blend of both. Choosing to explore deeper aspects of intimacy is a personal choice, not one that defines us in any specific way. Sadly, many elderly people still feel the need to hide or repress these desires as if they were forbidden. This mindset leaves so many of us vulnerable, often due to loneliness or fear of opening up to new relationships. Worse still, a lack of education and awareness about sexual health can exacerbate these feelings, leading to unnecessary risks. This is heartbreaking because sexuality, when approached with care and respect, can become a source of health, happiness, and even longevity. Understanding and accepting our sexuality is part of accepting all the forms of affection in our lives, not just physical ones, but the intimacy in a look, a long embrace, or even a heartfelt conversation. These tender moments are just as important as any physical encounter, and they can happen at any age. Some of you may feel insecure or unsure about re-experiencing these feelings. You might think that age, body changes, or societal expectations mean these desires have to be locked away. But let me tell you something. The human heart was made to feel, no matter how many years have passed. That capacity to feel is what keeps us alive and keeps us in touch with what makes us human. Don't let society's narrow view fool you into thinking otherwise. Age doesn't steal your ability to love, to want, or to embrace life's pleasures. These beliefs are merely ideas imposed by a culture that doesn't always understand the depth of human connection. It's never too late to live fully, embrace your desires, and engage in the kind of intimate relationships that bring you joy. It's time to change the narrative. Life can be sweet, invigorating, and fulfilling, even as we age. We deserve to live it fully, so allow yourself to feel, yes, even if it seems unfamiliar or intimidating at first. Age brings more stories and more depth to our love and affection. If your body doesn't respond the way it used to, know that's natural. It's not the end, it's the beginning of a new chapter. Countless forms of affection go beyond physical vigor. Rediscover the joy in touch, in a gaze, in shared moments. Sometimes, a simple hug or a heartfelt conversation can reach your heart more deeply than anything else. The journey is about self-knowledge, patience, and permitting yourself to explore these emotions. What matters is that these feelings are alive in you, ready to bloom when you let them. Of course, our bodies change, and understanding these changes is crucial for living well. For both men and women, old age brings physiological shifts, and knowing this helps us cultivate a healthier, more compassionate relationship with our bodies and partners. For women, the drop in estrogen during menopause marks one of the most noticeable changes. Along with hot flashes and decreased lubrication, we need to find a new rhythm for our intimacy. But with the right care, patience, and affection, it's possible to continue enjoying intimacy. Men face similar changes, with declining testosterone levels affecting both sexual function and physical vitality. It can lead to insecurities, especially as muscles and bones change. But this, too, is natural. These shifts don't mean pleasure or love is over. They simply ask for a new, gentler approach, filled with discoveries and heightened sensitivity. Interestingly, men and women often approach sexuality differently at this stage. For many men, sex is still tied to notions of power and virility. Some fear they no longer meet society's expectations and feel the need to reaffirm their masculinity. On the other hand, many women begin to place more value on companionship, affectionate touch, and quiet presence. Yet, some still want to embrace their sexuality but fear judgment, afraid of being labeled as too fiery or inappropriate. Sadly, many women suppress these feelings, worried about what others will think. Let me tell you this: sexuality, at any age, deserves respect and freedom. There is no expiration date on our desires or our capacity for love. It's entirely possible to live these intimate moments with the same intensity, just in different, more meaningful ways. It's crucial to understand that these bodily and emotional changes don't have to be barriers to intimacy and pleasure. With some adaptation and understanding, it's possible to embrace these transformations and rediscover new ways of experiencing sexuality. For women, for instance, reduced vaginal lubrication is common, but using a water-based lubricant can greatly enhance comfort and pleasure. Seeking forms of affection, like massages and gentle touches, also nurtures desire and emotional connection. For men, while a drop in testosterone and changes in muscle strength may seem challenging, pleasure isn't solely about physical performance. A slower pace and savoring the moment can bring emotional connection and intimacy that often go unnoticed when we're younger. A shift in focus from physical ability to emotional closeness is key. On the emotional side, shedding societal labels is essential for both men and women. We no longer need to fit into outdated images of masculinity or femininity. Desire, affection, and love are rights at every stage of life. An essential practice that can greatly enhance this phase is sincere communication. Talking openly about bodily changes, insecurities, and desires breaks down barriers and creates a deeper bond. When done with respect and affection, these conversations allow couples to explore new ways to satisfy one another and deepen their connection. Communication, especially in older age, strengthens intimacy. Over time, we've learned to recognize the power of truthful, empathetic conversations. It's like opening a window for your partner to see your true feelings and desires. This genuine exchange can transform any relationship. Many of us have been taught to keep our needs to ourselves, but to live this stage of life fully, we must let go of that restraint. Expressing fears, bodily changes, and desires brings us closer. It invites trust, creating a safe space where both partners can be authentic and without judgment. For men, sharing insecurities about physical changes like testosterone decline can bring relief. For women, discussing what menopause brings and how to make intimate moments more comfortable can lead to a truly transformative experience. Communication doesn't always need to be verbal. Affectionate gestures, a look, or a hug can speak volumes. These moments of connection strengthen relationships in powerful ways. Hygiene, though often avoided as a topic, is vital. As we age, maintaining good hygiene is essential for both self-respect and comfort in intimacy. Practical tips on hygiene can help ensure comfort, health, and pleasure. Embrace your desires, respect your body's changes, and never shy away from seeking support if needed. True intimacy is about emotional connection, and love, regardless of age, should always be celebrated. Life is about feeling, experiencing, and living fully. Love, affection, and intimacy are timeless gifts that bring joy at every stage. As we wrap up, I encourage you to embrace the beauty of intimacy at any age, knowing that love, affection, and pleasure are ever present. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know how far this message reaches by telling us your city. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into topics that matter most. Thank you for watching, and keep exploring life with an open heart. Until next time, enjoy the journey.